People talk about Charlotte like the market is either booming or collapsing, but the reality looks way different. Low-end homes are sitting longer. Ultra luxury is still pushing past $9 million and hitting records, and major changes are coming to the western side of the city. In this video, I'm breaking down what's new in Charlotte for the summer of 2026. So let's dive in. Forget the Charlotte headlines you've been seeing for the last few months. We're sitting in a market that's still leaning a little bit towards the seller side, but is becoming more balanced every single week. Right now, median prices across the region are sitting in the low $400,000 price points. They're kind of holding steady, and that's a healthy place for a market to truly be. When it comes to inventory, more homes have hit the market than we've seen in years past. So buyers have options again. You've got more time to think, more homes to compare, and in some price points, you even got room to negotiate a little bit on that price and the timing, possibly even a credit. At the same time, buyer activity has been picking back up. Pending sales jumped 9% year over year in March. Buyers are being more selective about exactly what they're willing to pay for. And later, I'm going to show you how I'd play this market if I were moving to Charlotte this summer. Stick around. Now, more inventory takes some pressure off, but the best homes in the strongest neighborhoods are still moving quickly. A balanced market doesn't mean an easy market. It just means you can breathe a little before making the decision. The townhomes have had a really tough time and been there for a little bit of a while now. Sales have slowed down, listings are stacking up, and prices in that segment have softened a bit. But single family homes are still holding their ground. And if you've been looking at townhomes and something felt off, you're not imagining it. You're right on. That's the real challenge happening in today's market these days. And for the right buyer, there may be an opening right there. On the other side of the market, ultra luxury keeps doing what ultra luxury does. It keeps climbing. In January of 2026, homes above $1 million price point have appreciated close to 11% year over year, which is moving faster than the rest of the market. We've even seen sales push past $9 million recently, and one that just hit $15 million. A few years ago, that would have sounded crazy here in Charlotte. The city has stepped into a different category as luxury market does. Now, if you're watching from out of state and trying to figure out which part of Charlotte fits your move best, that's the kind of relocation I help people out just like you every single week. My contact information is right there in the description. Reach out and we'll figure out what best fits your lifestyle and true needs. Now, there's some change happening throughout the city that I want to cover with you. For decades, the River District stayed untouched, but now things are starting to change. It's a 1,400 acre master plan community from Crescent Communities sitting between the Catawba River and the airport, and is about 20 minutes from uptown. So you still feel connected to the city, but the place out there feels completely different. Also, the district is near the U.S. White Water Center, which has a mountain bike park open, and this area is supposed to have the only public riverfront park in Charlotte with direct access to the Catawba River. So this isn't some future concept sitting on paper anymore. People are living there already. The first homeowner moved in back in August of 2025. The first apartment buildings opened early this year, and the first neighborhood called Westro is filling in with single family homes and apartments. Now, they're building out something called Forge Village, which is planned to be the main gathering spot for the area with working farm, cafe, local market, and community space. The whole setup is designed to feel like its own little town center from day one. And in a couple of minutes, I'm getting to the summer event lineup, and one of them is going to make people from over 100 countries pay attention to this city. Stay with me. Now, on the retail side, the first commercial space is going up, a 28,200 square foot mixed-use building with restaurants, shops, and neighborhood services. Behind that, there's another retail center plan called Eastro, which is expected to bring in grocery store and more local brands over the next few years. They're also negotiating for a hotel and corporate office campus nearby. They even been European companies looking at the site for the US operations. Translation, this project is getting taken very, very seriously, truly behind the scenes. When you start adding jobs, retail, housing, and community space all into one space, it changes how people think about that side of the city. The River District isn't going to reshape West Charlotte overnight. This probably about 20 to 30 year true build out and growth. But this is the kind of project people look back on later and say, we should have bought there sooner. Now, the Western transformation doesn't stop with just the River District. Just down the road, there's another major shift happening, and it's tied to one of the busiest airports in the country. If you've flown through Charlotte sometime in the last few months, you probably noticed something. The lobby feels bigger, security is moving better, and the airport flow feels so much smoother overall. But what you've seen so far is only a small piece of what's truly happening out there right now. Charlotte Douglas is one of the busiest airports in the country, with more than 58 million passengers moving through in 2024 alone. Last fall, the airport finished a $608 million terminal lobby expansion. Bigger spaces, renovated sections, all checkpoints open, and a much better setup for the volume coming through every single day. The fourth parallel runway is a $1 billion project and is one of the three major runways being built in the United States currently. The construction is moving fast, and the target opening is the fall of 2027. For people moving to Charlotte, that means more runway capacity, means more flights, more direct routes, better reliability, and easier travel in and out of the city over the next decade. Now, in the middle of all this, the airport is also starting runway redesignation this May. They're renumbering the current runways to make room for the new one. And travelers won't even notice it's happening, but behind the scenes, the entire airfield is shifting into the next phase. And later, I'll show you why what's happening at the airport changes how you should be thinking about the entire western side of the city of Charlotte, but more on that later. Now, the airport changes are happening inside as well. Concourse D is going through a full renovation with new restrooms and better amenity. That project should wrap up later this year. Concourse E, which handles most traffic, is getting upgraded also. I'm talking new flooring, gate renumbering, updated signs, new moving walkways, all of that. That renovation is expected to finish up in early 2027. The airport is also working on something called the Destination District. The plan is to redevelop about 90 acres along Wilkinson Boulevard with hotels, restaurants, retail, and new commercial space. There are plans for 2 hotels, plus retail and future transit connections tied to Link's Silver Line. Construction hasn't started just yet, but the space between I-85 and the airport is going to feel different in just a couple of years from what's going on currently. When adding all this together, the entire western side of Charlotte is starting to go in a different direction completely. And then we have the fun things to do in the summer. Until next year, summers in Charlotte felt pretty normal, but the 2026 one will be completely different. The city feels like it's moving non-stop with stadiums packed on back-to-back weekends, restaurants full of out-of-town visitors, and events stacked all over your calendar. This summer lineup says a lot about where Charlotte is heading as a city. Taste of Charlotte kicks things off June 5th through June 7th, and this is now the 27th year of the event. It still might be one of the best ways to experience the Charlotte food scene all in one place. 3 days in Uptown along Tryon Street, no admission fees, live music across 3 stages, and more than 100 menu items from local restaurants. The event pulls over tens of thousands of people during the weekend. Friday and Saturday go late into the night, and Sunday wraps up early in the afternoon. Uptown traffic and parking are going to be rough that weekend, which means you need to plan if you're headed down there. Then when we get to July, AC/DC is coming to Bank America Stadium on July 11th. And here's the thing, this isn't just another stop on the tour. Charlotte is opening the entire North American run, 17 cities, and it starts here. The Pretty Reckless is opening the show, and AC/DC hasn't played Charlotte in close to 17 years. That's a real movement for the city. And later in July, the MLS All-Star Game is coming to Charlotte on July 29th. First time Charlotte FC has hosted it, and first time the game has ever been played at Bank of America Stadium. It's MLS All-Star versus Liga MX All-Stars, and the broadcast is going out to more than 100 countries. The night before, July 28th, they're holding the Skills Challenge over at Truist Field. Smaller venue, closer atmosphere, and easier access to the players. This is the kind of thing that puts Charlotte on the international stage. Now, as we get into one of the newer events on the calendar, the Carolina Bloom Music Festival is happening August 22nd and August 23rd, and this one's interesting because it's brand new for Charlotte. It's taking place in the Iron District, which is one of the emergency mixed-use areas in the city. And the festival is centered around indie rock and alternative music. Some of the names already confirmed are Quarters and Illiterate, Lighthead Saturday, while Axe and the Hatchet Men and Fortide headline. Sunday, 10 bands each day, plus food trucks and local vendors throughout the entire weekend. And Charlotte now has a professional women's basketball team called the Charlotte Crown. They're part of the new Upshot League, which works as a developmental path into the WNBA. They're going to play over at Bojangles Coliseum. The inaugural season is happening, and the head coach is former WNBA player Tricia Stafford Odom. They are home games all summer long, so if you're looking for another live sports option in the city, this is a fun one to add to the mix. So that's the fun side of summer. Now, if you're planning to move here, everything we just covered connects back to one buyer strategy that I've been teasing the entire video. Before we dive into this strategy, imagine landing in Charlotte this summer with a clear plan, your numbers ready, and enough breathing room to think before making that move. That's the kind of market we're sitting in right now if you're paying attention. So let me bring this whole thing together for you. For buyers, this is one of the more workable markets we've seen in quite a while. Mortgage rates have settled into a range that people are starting to adjust to. It's not the ultra low rate environment from just a few years ago, but buyers are learning how to move in this version of the market again today. And when you combine that with the inventory growth and the pending sales numbers we talked about earlier, you've got a real opportunity opening up this summer. But there's still a split market happening underneath these averages. Well-priced homes in the strongest neighborhoods are still moving fast. Average days on markets have stretched out a little bit, but that number includes everything from clean, properly priced listings to homes sitting untouched because sellers truly have missed the market. Now, on the developmental side, keep your eye on that River District area. The infrastructure is happening, the investment is real, and over time, that whole western side of Charlotte is going to feel different than it does today. If you're the type of buyer who likes getting into an area before it becomes the obvious choice, West Charlotte deserves a serious look right now. Or if something pops up like in areas of South End, Dilworth, or Myers Park that checks your boxes, don't assume that you have an unlimited amount of time to decide. A balanced market doesn't mean that. You'll have put yourself in that winning seat by knowing your budget, your comfort zone, and what you're willing to move on before the right property truly shows up. And don't forget the airport timelines we've covered earlier. The new runway targeted for 2027 and the Concourse E upgrades are finishing around early 2027. That's something you want to factor in while you're touring homes and thinking long term. So here's the buyer strategy in one lineup. Show up prepared, know your numbers, and move when the right house hits the market. That's how buyers win in Charlotte this summer. Charlotte rewards the buyers who pay attention to what's still forming. The changes, the calendar, and the inventory shifts are all telling you where the city is headed before everyone else catches on. So if you want a custom game plan built around the inventory we're seeing, shoot me an email at mark@allbrick.com today with where you're moving from and when you're hoping to land here in Charlotte. And if you think Charlotte feels like it's changing now, wait until you see what's already funded and moving towards 2030. The video linked right here breaks down what's new coming to the city. Until next time, I hope to see you around town.